Before we begin, please know this story talks about some serious topics. It's meant to teach and entertain. Now imagine this: a man with a big build, a beard covered in sawdust, and a heart even bigger than his famous smile. A man whose slow southern voice and quiet wisdom have made people feel warm in their living rooms all across the country. He didn't just fix up homes. He brought back hope. One porch swing, one fresh layer of paint, one neighbor at a time. That man is Ben Napier, the loved co-host of HGTV's Hometown, husband to Erin, father to two beautiful daughters, and hometown hero of Laurel, Mississippi. Together, he and Erin weren't just making houses look better. They were bringing back life to an entire town, rebuilding pride, bringing back forgotten stories, and doing it all with kindness, charm, and faith. But lately, something's changed. Ben Napier has disappeared from the spotlight. Fans noticed. The show stopped. Social media went quiet. And slowly, a rumor began spreading online. Where is Ben Napier? Is he okay? Why did he walk away? The truth behind why he disappeared isn't a big news story. It's a journey. A quiet, painful, very personal journey filled with body pain, pressure from being famous, and a father's desperate fight to keep his family safe. It starts not on television, but in the church. Ben grew up in a very Christian family. Both his parents were church leaders. Faith wasn't something they talked about just on Sundays. It was part of everything they did every day. Early on, Ben followed what his parents did, becoming a youth minister himself, standing at the front of the church, helping young people learn about God. But even then, something else pulled at him. Wood, building things, the smell of sawdust in his nose, the comfort of making something real with his hands. Working with wood wasn't just something fun to do. It was like medicine, a prayer without talking. And then Erin came into his life. A graphic designer with passion in her heart and an eye for beautiful things. Erin didn't just love Ben. She really understood him. His soul, his strength, what he cared about. Together, they made more than just a marriage. They built a mission. When HGTV called them, it didn't feel like just a business deal. It felt like a calling, and Hometown was born. It wasn't fancy. It wasn't fake. It was warm, simple, real. And America loved it. Loved them. Ben and Erin were genuine in a world that loves filters and fake stuff. But even as more people knew who they were, something was quietly breaking down. Ben had always been a big guy. He joked about it, handled it with grace. But the hard work of constant fixing up houses, filming schedules, and long days started to wear him down. His weight went up. His energy dropped. But he didn't change for the cameras. He changed for someone way more important. His daughter. When Helen was born, Ben looked into her tiny face and saw a scary truth. If he didn't change, he might not be around to walk her down the aisle. So he got to work, not with wood, but with determination. He changed his diet completely, started exercising, lost over 55 pounds. Not to look good, for living longer, for love, and for a while. It seemed like everything was going great until it fell apart. It started with a stranger, a man older, acting strange, reportedly from California, began hanging around their house, sometimes dressed like a Star Wars stormtrooper, sometimes wearing an ankle monitor, always watching. At first, it was uncomfortable. Then it got really scary. He started bringing toys, not for his kids, for theirs. Ben and Erin were shocked. Their private world, their special safe place, had been invaded. What was once a charming Mississippi home now felt like a target. Security guards were hired. Police were told. But the fear stayed because it wasn't just about them anymore. They had two daughters, a family to keep safe. Ben, the gentle giant, felt something change inside. A father's instinct, a storm of fear and anger he'd never felt before. And just when they thought things couldn't get worse, they did. Ben had been hiding shoulder pain for years, quietly pushing through, ignoring it. But the pain became too much to bear. Scans showed the truth. Bad bone spurs, damaged cartilage. His shoulder was breaking down. And the man who lifted heavy beams easily couldn't even lift his arm. He had major surgery, long recovery, weeks of rest, therapy, being still. And in that stillness, something powerful happened. He remembered who he was before the cameras, before all the noise. He reconnected with his faith, his purpose, what mattered most. He chose to slow down, to heal not just his body, but his spirit. Because sometimes when life breaks you, it's not the end. It's the invitation to rebuild. Not just the things around you, but the person inside you. The world saw Ben Napier as a builder of homes. But what they missed, what only those closest to him really saw, was that he was rebuilding something way more delicate. His health, his peace, his spirit, the very foundation of the man he wanted to be. For his children. Today, Ben Napier isn't chasing fame. He's chasing something way harder to find. Peace. The kind of peace that comes not from people clapping, but from the quiet joy of a morning without noise. A breakfast where no one's watching. A walk through town where no one stops him for photos. Just a man with his family enjoying the kind of normal moments most of us take for granted until they're gone. You won't see him on every episode, not on every magazine cover, not in constant interviews or fancy movie premieres, but he's there in the most important of places. Home. At home, where the walls are filled with laughter, not camera crews. Where little feet run down hallways he helped build. Chasing dreams too big to fit on any screen. Where Erin's voice still makes him smile the way it did when they first met. Where faith isn't something written down. It's something lived. He still works, still builds, still creates. But now it's on his terms. No longer controlled by filming deadlines or TV network expectations. Ben's creativity flows from a deeper place. He picks his projects carefully. He takes time to breathe, to think, to rest. Because he's learned something. It takes most of us our whole lives to understand that being busy doesn't equal purpose. And being exhausted isn't something to be proud of. He's traded burnout for balance, rushing for meaning. The fast lane for front porch. Now his schedule includes more than plans and tool belts. It includes pancake breakfast, afternoon walks with Helen and May, story time by the fireplace, dinner with Erin where they talk about the day, not the TV ratings. These are the scenes no TV crew can capture, but they're the most important ones of all. Because what is a man's legacy really? Is it the number of homes he's fixed up? Or is it the home he's built with his own two hands for the people he loves more than life itself? Maybe the real legacy is not in the fixing up seen by millions, but in the quiet protection of a single family, in the choice to put them first, even when the world wanted more, not the houses he fixed up, but the home he protected, not the fame he earned, but the family he chose, not the awards, but the answered prayers whispered over sleeping children. Ben Napier didn't vanish. He changed. He didn't lose his spark. He lit a new fire, one that doesn't burn for attention, but for being present. He didn't fall off the map. He redrew it, centered not around a TV schedule, but a backyard swing, a homemade dinner, a bedtime prayer. He stepped out of the spotlight to find something brighter. Because sometimes light isn't what shines on you. It's what shines through you. And maybe, just maybe, that's a lesson for all of us. That in a world obsessed with more and more content, more followers, more fame, there's something powerful in stepping back, in slowing down, in saying no to the chaos, and yes to the calm, yes to healing, yes to being present, yes to the people who matter most. Sometimes the greatest fixing up doesn't happen on screen. They happen in the quiet, in the broken places, in the hard conversations, in the healing, in the heart. Because true restoration isn't about wood and nails. It's about love and courage in choosing every single day to show up, not for a camera, but for your family. So the next time you see a front porch glowing with warm light or smell the scent of fresh lumber on a crisp morning, think of Ben Napier, not just as a television host, but as a husband, a father, a builder of more than homes, builder of legacy, a man who knew when to pick up the hammer and when to put it down, to hold the hand of his daughter, to wrap his arms around his wife, to stand quietly, faithfully in the home he built from the heart.